and welcome to the Golden Hour and the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast and YouTube show. I am Golden Duffy, your host, and I am really excited about this conversation. I think that the world needs more hope. It's kind of interesting. This message came to me the other day. So if you don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, if you're not on social media, you can get my channeled messages every day at www.livelifegolden.com to get the message. I mostly send those through the blog every day. I got a message the other day about hope and that people really do need hope right now. People, the way that the world looks right now is very traumatic. We've got hurricanes and fires and an election and all of these things going on that can really give you some concern, especially if you are someone who watches the news, which I do not recommend. But nowadays, you don't even need to watch the news. It's funny because my younger two, they always know what's going on in the world because they're on TikTok and Instagram. So you get all of the bad news, the good news, whatever, from different social media sites. So you don't even have to really watch the news to be subject to what the news is saying or to the bad news of the world, which seems to be our tendency with the news. So I got this message the other day about hope, and it was really, every day, just so you know this, I need you to know this. I don't know what's going on with my hair, but it was like sticking straight up. Just so you know this, every single day, somebody asked me recently, like, how do you get these messages? Where are these messages coming from? And every single day I say to God, source, universe, whatever you like to call it, I just say, what do you need your people to hear? What do you need the people to hear? Just got a little chill. And I do that with my show as well. So my shows are not necessarily planned. It's just like my messages. I get a sentence, subject, I'll say, what's the subject going to be? And I just leave it. I just ask it and I leave it. And then in a few minutes, I will get a sentence or I will get an idea for the show. And then I go from there. And oftentimes my shows are actually based on people in my life that maybe are having some situations, people that message me. And please feel free to message me if you have something that you're working on, if you're looking to manifest something, or if something's really happening and it's traumatic and it's challenging. Not that I want everybody flooding my inboxes with their problems, but if you need a shift in something, I am here for you. And I will always address that on the show, because if you're going through it, other people are going through it as well. So it's a good idea to share it so that we can all grow from what you are looking to manifest and from your questions. So I do love questions. You can also email me at livelifegolden@gmail. If you have questions, or if you have, if you're really working on something and you need some support, I am here for you. So I got this message about hope, and it was really interesting because it brought me back to a time in my life when I went to Tony Robbins. So if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, you might be under a rock, but Anthony Robbins is a motivational speaker. He's huge in business. I mean, the guy is multi-millionaire, and he puts on these seminars. So back, I don't even remember. This had to be like 15 years ago. I was in that network marketing company that I've shared before, and I had met this girl who was actually a trainer for Tony Robbins, and she said, I can get you a free ticket. So I manifested a free ticket. At this point in our lives, we had no extra money for me to do anything like this, any kind of personal development. So a friend of mine was going as well, and she said, hey, I will pay for the hotel. She knew my situation. She said, I'll pay for the hotel and we can go together. So I went to a Tony Robbins seminar completely for free. And one of the things, like one sentence that I took from that it came to me the other day was, Tony said, now this is crazy. Like, they prepare you for hours, for like 2 or 3 hours. The first night they prepare you to walk on hot coals, like burning hot coals, to show yourself that you can do this without burning your feet. It's wild. And I did it and it was crazy, but they psych you up. Like, you get really hyped out. You get really excited. You're really ready to do this. You're really determined. And then you have a partner, somebody who like keeps you jacked up and you keep them jacked up. And I had this kid who was like, he was like a football player. He was this big, huge dude. And we were, really connecting and like, we're going to do this. And I remember walking up and you're in this dark, like we were in a dark parking structure. And we had a mantra that was called cool moss, cool moss. So you were supposed to imagine that you were walking across cool moss. And the two women in front of me chickened out. And that actually pissed me off. So I was like, it jacked me up even more. I was like, I'm doing this. So I walked across cool moss, cool moss, cool moss, never felt any heat on my feet whatsoever. And then when you get to the end, it's kind of freaky. They grab you off and they hose off your feet just to make sure there's no like hot coals on the bottom of your feet. Did not have a burn, nothing. My feet weren't even red. It was really an amazing, amazing experience. The whole thing of Tony Robbins, I really did super enjoy it. I really did like it, but I came back home and I felt some issues with myself, whether I was healing or just they deal with a lot of your past. It's a 3-day seminar and they worked on your subconscious and they work on all these different areas. But in the whole of it all, I think it was a really, really great experience. So one thing that Tony said that really stuck with me and came to me the other day was he said, hope sucks. And I started thinking about this saying the other day, and I understand why he said that. So if you're feeling like you're hopeless right now and you really feel like you can't even grasp hope, I'm going to help you to get there today. And I'm going to explain to you why hope does not suck and being in hope is way better than being in hopelessness. So I think the reason why he says hope sucks is because I think a lot of people rely on hope. And if you say you're hopeful about something, if you say, I hope it works out, you're not as strong in a conduction as deciding that things are going to work out. So I get why Tony says this. I really do. But if you're in a place where you are super hopeless, it can be hard to get anywhere above hope without hitting hope first, right? Like hope is the shift that gets us from believing that the worst is happening to being in a place where we can actually grasp that the best can happen for us. So hope is a really great place. If you've ever looked at the emotional guidance scale, there's one put out by Abraham Hicks. If you're in a super depressed state, the idea is you can't go from depression to joy. So you have to kind of gradually go up the scale. And once you're at hope, you start turning the tides in your favor. Then you can start reaching higher and higher and higher until you're in appreciation and love, which are the highest vibrations. So hope does not suck. Hope can actually help to turn the tides in your favor. It can help you turn towards where you want to go, but you don't want to get stuck at hope. So that's where I think the hope sucks thing comes in, because you don't want to get stuck there. Because if you get stuck at hope, then you're not really progressing to the point where you really believe that things are going to work out for you. And that's really where we want to go. That's where we want to land to really solidify this wave behind me, this activation where it allows the energy to turn into the physical. And I don't believe that hope, if it's not very strong, if you're just kind of hopeful, it's not strong enough necessarily to turn it into physical, or at least it's not fast. It's not fast. It's a slower way to get there. But I do believe that hope is a really good thing. If you were in those low vibrational states, hope can help you. But I think what Tony was talking about was that hope can often stall people or stagnate or make people stuck because they don't go and do anything. They don't go and do anything about their situation. They just, maybe they pray, maybe they beg God to help their situation, but they don't go and activate any energy towards it. And remember this, energy begets energy. So if you're sitting around waiting for things to happen, you're waiting the energy field, and things are not going to happen because you're not activating the energy. You're not telling the universe, yes, I'm serious about this. Yes, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do what it takes to change my situation. So your situation does not change. So that's why I understand that hope can be a little wonky. I want to dive a little deeper today into frequency. I want to dive a little deeper today into vibration and into the idea of this parallel universes, right? I've talked before about Parallel Universe of Self by Fred Dodson. Super deep book, might be too much for you. Fred is something else. He's a character. He really is. If you see him on YouTube, he is He's an interesting dude. Let me tell you, he kind of cracks me up a little bit, but he's freaking brilliant. He's really brilliant. He was one of the founding members, I think, of the idea of identity creation and becoming who you really want to become in order to break. Like I don't even think he believes in law of attraction. He believes in becoming that. So you are literally, you're not attracting it. You're just becoming it. So that's the idea of like universes, parallel universes. So right now, if you were to conduct yourself in a way of listening to the news all the time, talking about the gloom and doom, fretting about this next election, which I never get political on my podcast and I will not start now, but I do need to address what the collective is going through because there's a lot of upheaval right now, a lot of upheaval. A lot of people are scared about what's going to happen. There's a lot of back and forth. And at the end of the day, I just want you to bring yourself back for a second. Bring yourself back to 2020, when we were in this massive amount of fear for our health. We were in a massive amount of fear for what they were saying was going to happen to our food supplies, to our toilet paper supplies. I mean, look at the way that people responded to that and maybe the way that you responded to it as well. I remember I was in quite a bit of fear, and I don't want to activate this for you, but I need you to just go back there for a second because there was so much speculation at that point. And I had some friends, I had some family members, I had people that really believed that we were going to starve to death. Let's take it to the biggest fear we could get, right? Starve to death. This was a disease that was going to wipe out our society. And the truth is none of that happened, right? And although there were a lot of people that died from what happened, and I'm not even going to get into that, you're still here, right? If you're listening to this, you're still here. So you're okay. You're okay. You made it through that. You made it through something that things were made to look and appear that things were just going to get worse and worse and worse. And we were all going to perish. We're all going to perish as the people. So thinking back to that and then considering what's happening now, I want you to consider another side to what's happening right now, another potential to what's happening right now, that there is a potential world, there is a potential universe that you could live in where things really do work out, where things really are optimal. And the truth is, it doesn't matter really who's in office. And I know it does affect us. It does absolutely affect us. But the truth is, in your own internal world, the only thing that really matters is what you focus on and what you make matter. The only thing that matters is what you make matter. So as you worry about things, as you get concerned about things, as you focus on your fears, you draw that stuff in, right? If you want to shift and you really want to feel hopeful about the world that we live in, even like the weather right now, the weather's crazy. Like this is, I'm recording this on Tuesday and there is a second huge hurricane making its way through Florida. And I'm sure that people are scared and facing things like that, like fires and storms and things like that is definitely frightening. But the truth is, we've got to start focusing. Like what happens is the news focuses on the detriment, right? That's why a lot of times the news will say something's coming and it's not as bad as they said it was, right? Because collectively, the people were able to manifest it not being. They prayed, they had faith, they trusted, right? So if we could take what's happening and we could send it better energy, not send worry, not send fear, but actually send, angels, send good energy, send good vibes, send a good future to those people that are facing that sort of a thing, things would loosen up. They would lighten up a little bit. We have that much power, you guys. That's a crazy thing. And the world is reflecting to us what we feel inside. That's why when a car accident happens and you have two witnesses, they may have seen it completely differently because their internal world, the perceptions and judgments that they have are going to create what they saw. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. I heard a crazy study the other day. I'm trying to think of what I'm not going to remember right now, but it was so insane about a belief system manifesting something in someone's life. Sorry, I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. All right, so we're talking about hope, though. That's what you're interested in. That's what you're here for. You're here for a little juice up of the hope. Hope is not lost. Hope is always a foundation for more. It allows you to tune into a frequency that helps you to shift and make a little decision that goes, well, hold on a second. Instead of worst case scenarios and fear and feeling hopeless and powerless, I'm moving over to hope where I can grasp. And what happens when you're in that level of hope, right? Like you're no longer in the depression or the hopelessness or powerlessness. You've up leveled to hope, right? Maybe my show gave you some hope. Maybe my words gave you some hope. Maybe you saw something on Instagram. Maybe you saw 777 or, just those little like universal, those little twinkles from the universe or God or angels or whatever you like to call it, those little twinkles that make you go, that's right. That's right. I'm a spirit here. I'm a spiritual being here having a human experience, and everything that I'm taking in and judging and perceiving, I'm creating. Oh, that's right. I have power. That's really, really cool. So maybe you did, and then now you're at hope because you're like, you've shifted a little bit, right? And you feel it. You can feel the shift. If you're really awake and aware, you can feel these shifts, and they feel like, they feel like relief. They feel like maybe even a little bit of joy, maybe a little bit of like lightheartedness, right? That's what hope feels like. It feels lighter. It feels like everything's going to be okay, or maybe everything's going to be okay. Maybe you're not at the everything's okay, but maybe you're at the maybe everything's okay, right? What that does is it takes you from this direction, which is where you don't want to go, and starts to turn you in the direction towards what you do want to go. So as you start to do that, you're beaming a signal to your optimal results, right? And then because you feel hopeful, because you feel a little bit of relief, you start to get ideas, you start to get inspirations, and you go, okay, what can I do about this? And then you start activating new energy. So maybe you get inspired to go on a website, or you get inspired to build a website, or you get inspired to start writing a book, or you get inspired to call someone or meet with someone that maybe could create opportunities for you. Maybe you start looking online for a new job. Maybe you go apply for a new job. All of these things are part of you standing back in your power. So that's what hope allows you to do. It allows you to step back into this powerful being that you are, this powerful, incredible, resilient. I don't care I do care. Of course I care. What you've been through, right? What you've been through matters, but it doesn't matter what you've been through, because that's over, because that's past. And when you sit there and you go, I have been through horrendous. I'm tapped out. My nerves are shredded. I can't do this anymore. When you do that, right? Some of it's surrender, and surrender is pretty good, because if you're not in surrender and you're holding on too tight and you're efforting so much and you're pushing the energy field, that never feels good. So a little bit of surrender can go a long way, where you kind of let go, but you stay open. Surrender doesn't mean you give up. It means you stay open. You stay open and you ask the questions. All right, I'm watching the energy. What's next for me? Where do I need to go next to shift this completely, to step into my abundance? Another thing came up for me today when I was thinking about struggle. And when we were deeply in our struggle, our financial struggle, we had struggles definitely as a couple and as a family. We definitely had our struggles. But I'm going to take the finances for a second. When we were standing in our struggle, we never stopped. We never stopped doing and giving. And, when at the height of our really low financial situation, we were out there sharing our story. We were out there trying to make a difference. And that's not to say like, you need to go out there and speak and get some public speaking thing going. No, it means that you're not just taking from the universe. If you're always asking and taking and you're not like providing some sort of value for the universe, there's a disconnect. There's an imbalance in the energy field. So it's like, what can I give? What can I love? What can I appreciate will help you to shift it. Because when you're focused on what you don't have, you're really in that self-serving place, right? When you're depressed, when you're down, think about it. You're thinking only about yourself. When you're only thinking about yourself, you're hyper fixated on what's wrong and what you don't have. So that's why you want to shift it. You want to go out and help somebody. You want to do something good. You want to, and I know when we're in places like that, we may not feel like doing it, but there's like such a thing as helper's high that when you get yourself out there, you're activating energy, you're shifting things, you'll give yourself more energy. It's absolutely amazing what happens when you step in to a new energy of giving back and not taking and not being so much in your problems that you aren't available for anything that the universe is trying to give you, any opportunity the universe is working on to provide for you. So I send you all so much love, so much grace, so much peace, so much activation of your truth and your power and who you are and what you're here for. I read a really awesome quote this morning that was actually a really long paragraph, but I'll just paraphrase a little bit, that you are here for the love. You are here to give love. You are here to be love. You are love. So anytime you are loving, and it doesn't matter if it's a sunrise, it doesn't matter if it's your cat, it doesn't matter if it's your dog, it doesn't matter if it's your car, an inanimate act, it doesn't matter what you're loving. If you are loving something, you are fulfilling your purpose here. And I love that. I love love, first of all. And I just love that because I walk around in this life experience and I do my very best to be available. And no, I'm not always in the mood to be available. I get that. I'm not always there. Sometimes like my big outings are the grocery store. Sometimes I'll go to the self-checkout because I don't feel like dealing with anybody right now. That happens. But when I'm in it, when I'm with it, when I'm ready for it, I am really available to connect. And that connection is what really brings us to a place of shifting the vibration of our whole collective consciousness. You may think it's not a big deal when you ask a person who's bagging your groceries how their day is going. When you care, when you look them in the eyes, when you smile, when you have an interaction, when you laugh, when you joke, when you're lighthearted and you pass that along, that's giving. That's giving. And the universe is going to give that back. God is going to see that. He's going to see your kindness, your truth, your ability to be who you really are despite challenging situations. And that pays off big time. That's currency. That's currency in the universe. It absolutely is. Okay. So hope. Let's get back to hope. What do we hope? What is it? What is it that you really want to manifest in your world? What is it that you are looking to create? What kind of world do we want to live in? We want to live in a world where there's connection. We want to live in a world where there's truth. We want to live in a world that we can trust, that we have faith. Can we live in that world right now? Absolutely. We absolutely can. We just have to decide. And we have to stay determined. And I actually listened to something today about determination versus focus. And there's a very fine line between determination and focus. So focus is when we give all of our attention to something, right? Determination is when we give all of our attention to something and we are like not taking no for an answer. We might be pushing some energy. We might be trying too hard, right? Like if it's hard, it's not flowing. We're not getting the flow of life force. So that's when we want to back up a little bit. That's when we want to let go a little bit. Still do things, but do them from an energy of focus versus determination. Focus is lighter. It's freer. It allows us to get things done, but also leaves us open to opportunities to shift and follow different paths that are opening up to us, so it's not so hard. I think the greatest disservice to us has been that life is supposed to be hard. It really is. That belief we're supposed to struggle, that belief that we're not supposed to be abundant, all of those beliefs are such crap, and they really do. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So all those beliefs, the unworthiness, the undeservedness, the powerlessness, all of those beliefs deserve to leave. And I've done energy releases. I might have time to do one on this show today. We'll see. I've done energy releases on my other shows. So go back, go to the end. Last week's was amazing. That was my show on trauma. I did like a 20-minute energy release. It was really, really good. I'm going to work and see if I can clip those and create those on YouTube so that they're by themselves so you can do them when you need them. I guess the stress one I did a couple weeks ago was really good too. Thanks for the feedback on that. When I get messages from you guys, it's like currency to me. I don't know if you realize that or if you understand that, but I don't make money necessarily on this show because I don't do ads. I could very easily do ads because I have enough of a following now that I could do ads, but I hate ads. I just hate ads myself. They drive me crazy, but I could change my tune at some point when I'm ready to make some money on this thing. But I believe in currency from the universe. So my life has become more abundant, not necessarily through this channel, but yeah, it has, I guess, with my books and things. I have to remind myself how things are amplifying and becoming more for me. But the currency is like the way I feel when I do this. It's the excitement. I get excited every time I do this show. I don't even know how that's possible. Like I can keep talking. I have like 200 episodes of just me, just rattling along here, me and God, right? So, when you guys send me messages, it is confirmation, first of all, even when you comment on my posts on Facebook, which really helps other people see it. And when you share it, it's even more. It's amazing. But it's currency to me. It shifts me. It confirms to me that this is the right path, that this is what people are needing to hear, that this is what they're asking for. So it's like this whole thing of currency that makes my day better, that makes me feel great. And that's really, truly awesome. Like that giving that I give, I get it back. So thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that helps as well. Although recently I've decided I don't know if I want to be a YouTube sensation, considering the ads that they put on your thing that you have no say about. So I don't know. It's very convoluted, this world that we live in sometimes. Okay. All right. So I'll just share really quick my books because I love to share my books with you. These are all on Amazon, or you can contact me. Oh, this is my sample copy. It's got a big sample thing in the middle. The Perfect Unfolding for Your Soul's Expansion is messages that came through my dreams and some very, very spiritual messages about living here, about manifesting your potentials here. It's really, really, really good. So you can contact me if you want a personal message, signed copy. And then Mindful Manifestation Secrets is the science of creating. That's our story from leaving Connecticut to move to our dreams in California. This is a journal. It's hardcover. It's absolutely amazing. And there's 100 pages of content. It's a daily guide and journal, Mindful Manifestation Secrets, and it has writing prompts in it. It is forever becoming the better version of you. And Quantum Speak for Parents is an awesome book. I might change the title on this one. I changed the title. This actually used to be Quantum Speak, and I changed the title because of some marketing people I was working with. So I might change the title to this because it hasn't really juiced this up. So maybe we'll see what that takes to change the title on that so we can get more people understanding parenting in a better way. It's crazy what happens when you really start to understand healing and you get past all of your stuff, like the incredible relationships that you will have with your children and your partners. My relationship with my kids, I'm sure it can be better, but it's really, really awesome. I feel loved, I feel supported, I feel respected, and I know that they all feel the same. And, we're all buddies. We really are, which is really, really beautiful. All right, enough about me. Jeez Louise. Let's get back to hope. Okay, so why should you be hopeful? Let's think about this for a second. Let's give you and me, ourselves, some reasons of why we should be in hope. So I shared like what happened when there was turmoil in our world back when. There's other things, lots of turmoil that we've been through in our lives with our world that when we were faced with it, we didn't know if we were going to come back from it. We didn't know how we were going to approach life in the same way. And none of us ever did. We never approached life the same way after 9/11. We never approached life the same way after the Sandy Hook tragedy. Although if you didn't live near there, maybe it didn't affect you as much, but I grew up in that town. So it really, really affected me and the area that we were in. It was also a catalyst for us to leave. It was, unfortunately. But the truth is, it shapes, forms, expands, and grows us unless we are in resistance to it and we can't accept it. And then that's when we never truly stagnate, but that's when we sit in these lower vibrational fields that don't allow us to expand and grow from the challenges and tragedies that are happening around us. So if you are witnessing something and you're not directly involved in it, or even if you are directly involved in a tragedy, what do you do with it now? Do you stand in your powerlessness and your unworthiness, or do you decide for yourself, okay, I'm ready to learn and grow from that. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to trust again. I'm ready to open myself up to the opportunities of growth that this thing has been calling me for. I'm surrendering to it. I'm accepting it, and I'm allowing it to become part of the fabric of my being, but not to become the identity of what I create from. Wow, that was really good. I don't think I could say that again. Rewind that. Listen to that again. It was good. Okay. All right. So moving forward, hope is not lost. You have the potential and the ability to step up from this, whatever you're going through. Take your time. There's no rush. As much as it's like, oh, we got to get somewhere and we got goals and we got to make life suck while we do it. That's not necessary. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's get intentional with our life. Let's listen. Let's go within. Last night, my husband and I watched Yes Theory. It's one of our favorite new shows on YouTube. These boys they're changing the world. They really are. They're really amazing. And they went to a place that was considered the weirdest place in America or something. And it was in Iowa. I'm trying to think of the name of the town. I don't remember the name of the town. But it was in Iowa, and it's a community or society of people who have been influenced by this transcendental meditation. And they're calling it, there was consideration that it was a cult. And I would say these boys definitely proved that it's not a cult. I think it's interesting that when people come together and they start to collectively evolve, that might be what it's called. I mean, there's definitely cults out there, but didn't get that feeling from this at all. The people were loving and kind and beautiful and respectful, and the community at large. The joke was, like, when you come there, you don't want to leave. Like, a lot of people move there because it's the peace. It's the peace that they feel. And they have these giant domes that they meditate in. It was absolutely so cool. I'm like, I want to go there. So they learn transcendental meditation. If you don't know what that is, what it is, it was basically exactly how I was taught to meditate 30 years ago, no, 30, 20, almost 21 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, my little one was a baby and she's going to be 21. How in the frick? 20. I have one turning 23 tomorrow. Yeah, wow, what in the world? That's my third is turning 23. And then my baby turns 21 in November. Whoo, and then my older two are in their 30s. So what in the world? Okay. So we're watching the show, and what transcendental meditation is. Sorry, I'm like all over the place right now. Transcendental meditation is you pick a mantra, you close your eyes, and you focus on that mantra until you can drop it and become very, very still and silent. And I did it this morning because I haven't done a mantra in a long time. And I realized how many thoughts I have during meditation that I've kind of gotten out of the practice because I think I'm good, right? That's your ego telling you you're good and you don't need the mantra. A lot of people use guided meditation. I'm not against that, but this is different. This goes deeper. This allows you to get really, really, really quiet. And I woke up this morning at 4:57. I get up at 5:20 right now. That's my new thing. But because I woke up at 5, I was like, I should get up. I'm going to get up right now at 5. And I'm going to do this meditation while it's quiet. Because if I wait until after I get back from the gym, the world has started. And then I'm got emails and all this stuff going on. And then we have a school across the street and they're really noisy and cars and the whole thing. So super quiet at 5 a.m. So I did my meditation at 5 a.m. and it was awesome. So they say twice a day for 20 minutes. And that's the way I started. I started meditating that way and it changed my life in like 4 days. So I'm a huge fan of transcendental meditation. It takes some practice. You're not going to be perfect at it, but like as you have this mantra and you drop it, once you start having thoughts about something, you just go back to the mantra and you just keep going back to it and keep going back to it. And the mantra can be anything. It can be Om Shanti. It can be settle. I kept saying the word settle this morning. And part of that was because my cat was licking herself while I was on my lap while I was trying to meditate. So I thought, if I just keep thinking the word settle, maybe she'll settle. And she did. She settled down. Settle, go deeper. I've used the mantra, go deeper. Be still. There's a lot of different mantras that you can use. You can even look them up. Or ask. You can ask your internal energies, like what would be the best mantra for me? And you just keep going back to that. And that is the greatest way. And the way this guy described it in the show, I would highly recommend you watch the show. Look up Yes Theory in their last episode. The really great thing that this guy shared was how spending time in universal energy. And basically, Joe Dispenza talks about this, Dr. Joe. He's got some great guided meditations on YouTube. You let go and you release your connection to your body. So you're basically like out in space, right? You're in a place where you lose, like you're not in the connection of your identity anymore. You're just being. You're allowing yourself to be. So being in that universal flow energy where you step into your higher state of consciousness allows you to step out of the problems, the low vibrations, the energies, the emotions, all those things that keep messing with your field, that keep messing with your game, that keep messing with your ability to attract wonderful things. So when you give yourself that pause, you're also training your mind. And so then when you come out of meditation, you're in a higher vibration. You are ready for the world. You're ready for the day. And when things happen, you're not going to be as subject to that reaction that will create more of it. You'll have the pause. You'll have the awareness. You'll be able to look at it objectively and say, what do I want to do with this? Do I want this situation to take me down? Do I want to get upset in traffic? Do I want to have anxiety in traffic? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And what do I want more of? That's what that pause gives you the ability to do and to have the wonderful connection with who you really are. And when you start to get that connection with who you really are, you start to see the lies. You start to see these lower vibrational belief systems that were handed down to you by people who didn't understand you, people who didn't know how to love you, people that didn't know how to encourage you. You step out of that and you go, what do I always call it? The shitty committee. I'm working on a shitty committee book right now, you guys. That's going to be my next one. I'm going to pump that one out super fast because It's going to be funny. It's going to be light. It's going to be just like a sentence, a page. But it's all about silencing that shitty committee, because the shitty committee is made up of those voices, those lower vibrational voices. Maybe it's your ego. Maybe it's your, that part of you that's afraid of being judged, that part of you that judges yourself, that part of you that distrusts the world. All of those parts of you that shitty committee makes up are not you. So when you spend time in meditation, you separate yourself from it, and then you're going to start having the ability to hope. You're going to have access to hope. You're going to have access to messages that give you hope. You're going to notice, right? You're going to notice when nature is around you and giving you signs and messages. You're going to notice these numbers that line up, the alignment of numbers. It was really funny. The other day I was getting my carpets cleaned. Highly recommend that, by the way. I know this is funny. I'm going to do a little commercial for carpet cleaning. If you're local to Orange County, I love Family Man Carpet Cleaning. They have always serviced our rugs and our upholstery, and they're amazing. It's not cheap, but I will tell you the amount of vibration raising I have gotten from cleaning my carpets and my couch has been incredible. Because I told my daughter this today, I'm like, when you're like walking through your house, and it happens, we're a family, we live here, we have children. When you're walking through your house and you have carpets that are just stained, and at least this happens for me, you may not notice, but I am a Virgo, like through and through. It bothers me. Like, it bothers me just a little bit. And I know everyone feels a little bit different. And I'm feeling like we're all in this kind of like cleaning out the house phase. Like, it's kind of activated that in us. We've been like really, deep cleaning and making the house feel even more and more amazing and decorating. And my husband painted the ceiling in the kitchen from our debacle a couple weeks ago. It just feels so, so good. So taking care of your space. What can you do to take care of your space? Because that's freeing, that's lightening. I sold a couple of chairs the other day that I've been wanting to sell because they're not my style anymore. I didn't think they were comfortable, and I've kind of been moving them around the house, and I was like, I need to sell these. The idea was I was going to sell them and I was going to get something else. And now, I've realized I'm kind of moving into this minimalist feeling. Not totally. I'm not crazy. I love stuff, but, the chair's gone, and I just feel like kind of an opening, a feng shui of just energy, like flowing when you don't have a lot of stuff in your environment. When you have too much stuff in your environment. I cleaned off my bedside table, which is never like junky, but I had like 5 or 6 books on there. I had like my vitamins. I had a bunch of stuff on my table next to my bed, and I just cleaned it up. I have drawers. So I just put everything in the drawers, and I put all the books away that I'm not reading. And man, does that feel good. It's amazing. I dusted everything. It just feels so good to take care of your space, to clear things out, to give yourself some breathing room in your life and in your energy field and in the place that you live. It feels incredible. It really does. Like, there's nothing more satisfying than opening a junk drawer that you organized so you can find things and you know what's in there. And then you keep throwing things in there, of course, right? And then you got to start all over. But it's very, very satisfying. And if you are not a person who's into that, I would highly recommend trying it, because there's something to be said for it. It's like making your bed every day. I don't know if you do that, but when I walk into my room and my bed is made, I just feel better. Very rarely does a day go by that I don't make my bed, because that's like the first thing I want done. I want the bed to be pristine. When I get in it at night, I want it to be all situated, right? I don't want it to be a mess. So it's important. I also heard this thing from Jerry Seinfeld the other day, which I thought was really great. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. And I feel like Seinfeld, he definitely relates to a lot of our life. Like, a lot of things are a Seinfeld episode, which I find very amusing. But Jerry Seinfeld was being interviewed, and he was talking about meditation. And he was saying how it's about giving yourself a break, right? And the guy was saying something about like, well, you do go to sleep at night. And he's like, have you ever gotten up after you sleep at night and look back at your bed? Like, it's like a battleground, right? Like, you're not resting necessarily. So when you can meditate, when you can be still, when you can be conscious, when you can sit there and really allow yourself to be quiet and give yourself a break, it's like the greatest thing you can do for yourself energetically. And that was straight from Jerry Seinfeld, who is, you know, he's doing pretty well for himself, I think. Right. All right. So also, I'm going rando on you here. I'm going to open my books and do some random readings on that, and then I'll do a quick release before the end of this. But we just watched the show Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell on Netflix, and I highly recommend it. I thought it was fantastic. It has a lot to do with Judaism, which I found really interesting because I've never actually studied Judaism. It's probably like the one religion I didn't, or one of the religions I've never really looked into, but I found it really fascinating. And it's a beautiful love story. It's hilarious, funny, just really, my husband and I both really enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend that. That is on Netflix. All right. So I'm going to give you a little Russian roulette. And today I am feeling a Russian roulette with Mindful Manifestation Secrets. So a lot of you got this book because you ordered my other one, and I threw this one in as a bonus. So that's what happens when you order something from me and you ask for a personal message and you share with me how much you appreciate and support me and want more. So you get more. See? You get what you give. All right, let's go. All right, what kind of message are we looking for today? Ooh, let's go deep, all right? Neural pathways. It's time to get a little technical so you can understand how your brain works and why you have these patterns of thought. Now, we were just talking about meditation. This is so fascinating. I'm always fascinated by this. You may feel, the patterns of thoughts that you may feel are literally thinking you. You may even be thinking right now that it's not possible to gain control of this crazy mind of yours because it has been running wild for so long. This is why I'm including this next part so you can get a visual and appease your logical mind. This is perfect. Imagine there are pathways in your brain, well-worn pathways that you have been thinking the same thoughts for a long, long time. You have created belief systems that support these thoughts, and you continue day in and day out to think and believe them. You have set up a vibrational resonance that is bringing you exactly what you were thinking and believing. Most people do not even realize this is happening, and that is why we can often feel like our mind cannot be controlled. Along with these patterns of thought, you have created a momentum in your life that proves over and over again that your thoughts and beliefs are, in fact, correct. Your life is evidence of what you are resonating with. Here is a new belief system for you. I can't believe this. I can believe this. I can. You are not your mind. What? I know, right? Your mind is probably telling you that I'm crazy right now and that can't possibly be true, but it is. I know. How, you ask? Because I have separated myself from my mind and discovered a whole new person inside. I have discovered the truth of who I am and that there are many things that I am good at and have the ability to accomplish that I used to think I couldn't do. This is probably one of the most fascinating discoveries and the most life-changing information that I've ever stumbled upon. Throughout your life, you have had experiences and influential people guiding you and helping you to create the beliefs and judgments you have about everything that is going on or has gone on around you. Because of your experiences, you have certain reactions and judgments to things, and you will view life in a certain way. This has caused major limitations in your life and created a subconscious vibrational resonance with things that you may not want to be creating. It's time to recognize that your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts are just a product of things you have experienced and patterns of thought that you believed you had no control over until now. Wow. I love this. That was the perfect message for this show, as usual. So you can get this on Amazon. You will love it. Such a good book. Such a simple read, too. All right. So let's just take a deep breath and close our eyes and come together. If you're driving, pause this, do it later, pull over, and just breathe in with me. And as you're breathing in, just let everything go. Let all the tension go, relax your muscles. Your breath is something you always have access to. And when you take a deep breath, you tell your body that everything is okay. You tell your energetic field that everything's going to be all right. You take a breath, you take a pause, you let go. You be here now. You allow yourself to come into this present moment. And as the thoughts come, you breathe once again. Or you recite your mantra. Settle. Be at peace. Let go. Be here now. Just letting yourself resonate. Ooh, feeling the energy, allowing your energy field to open up to higher frequency energies. And I love to open up and say, I'm ready. I am willing to receive. I am open. And I am feeling this energy come through my body that feels higher, that feels blissful. It feels more like me, filled with peace and love and intention and grace. Just breathe. Relax. Allow yourself to know and feel that you are here for the greatest purpose, and that purpose is love. To love your life and to know that when you love, you are in the highest frequency there is, and you are allowing more of that high frequency energy to connect with your everyday experience. Ooh, okay. I am buzzing. I don't know if you are. So that was just a short little thing that you can do at any time that you need a little up level, but you can do it yourself. You know, the fact that we have access to our breath at any moment in any time, and even a mantra that can get you through traffic, that can, you know, before, one of the greatest things you can do is like intend when you get into your car to sit in your car for a second, 10 seconds, take a deep breath and intend to get to your destination safely. That's a great idea. You know, wrap your car in warm light in I think the energy of protection is like cobalt blue. So you just protect yourself in this blue light every time you drive. Do it for your kids as they leave the driveway. It's so much better than worrying. Do it for people that are flying or people that are living in Florida right now. You can surround anyone in an energy field that is of love and light instead of in fear and worry. It's such a better conduction because people feel energy. Energy is felt. So as we send it out, it comes back to us. It's like that beautiful boomerang effect. So pay attention to what you're sending. Pay attention to what you're saying. You don't have to be crazy about this. You don't have to like be, you know, insane about your thoughts. It's much easier than that. It's just reaching a little higher. It's noticing, it's being aware, and it's understanding that when you are aware and you decide for yourself that you want to create a different energy field, you have the potential to do that, to let go of the self-deprecation, to let go of the thoughts that bring misery. That was all about my post today, was all about letting that go so you can up level and become the greatest potential of who you really are. You are a powerful, powerful being. It's just, where are you putting your power? Where are you putting your intention? What are you under the influence of? Your worries and fears and what you don't want to happen? Or are you shifting it towards hope, towards faith, towards trust, towards knowing that all things are working out for you, that you have the power, that you have this potential, that you have this partnership with this infinite intelligence and wisdom that can guide your path, that can help you to make the right steps, to make the right decisions. You don't have to ask everybody else. You can go within for your answers. You can expect them. You can count on them. You know, I've been asking myself lately, like, what's my highest excitement today? I'm blessed to be able to do that, to follow my highest excitement. My highest excitement right now is writing a book about the shitty committee, to be honest with you. It is one of my highest exciting things. I love you all, and I send you the greatest intention for not just hope, not just stopping at hope, but for allowing yourself to keep that up level going, where you're going from hope into satisfaction, into expectation, into excitement, into appreciation, into love, and to bring those frequencies down into the earth, down into your body, to ground yourself so that you can spread it all over the place like butter, like sunshine. You can spread the light like sunshine, because that's what you are. You are a bright and beautiful light. And the world needs that. The world needs your light, needs you to shine. Doesn't need you to shine, doesn't need you to do anything. But as you do that, the world will show you, it will reflect back to you all that beautiful light and sunshine and grace and peace and love. All right. That's my show for today. I love you all so much, and I appreciate you, and I'm so happy you are here with me. Peace out.